I will keep it.
All right, ELD with Brainstorm MTG here with Wednesday Night Legacy. We've got Death and Taxes versus a Maverick style build here. So there goes a Swords to Plowshares on a Mother of Runes, plowing your mom as it were, and a Wasteland comes down. Not going to have a ton of good targets in Death and Taxes for Wasteland. Runs a lot of basic lands. Of course, it does have Rishadan Port and Karakas, so it's not without targets entirely. Just the mana base tends to be pretty resilient. And Bailey returns the favor, plowing my mom. All right, so we've got a little bit of fireworks here early. Mother of Runes, really the type of card that can define this type of matchup. It looks like Bailey had a Punishing Fire there, which is also extremely good versus Death and Taxes. And a Breeding Pool comes down, giving him options for 4 of the 5 colors of mana there, only red missing. And we're going to have, let's see, a Crucible on a stick. So that could generate some card advantage over time if you can find a fetch land. As we said, the Wasteland probably not going to do a ton of double duty here. Might have an occasional target. And looks like might be a non-basic right there. There we go, Rishadan Port. So that is one of the targets there. So it looks like we're going to be able to generate a little bit of card advantage on the other side of the board. If that sticks around. And then we have a Mirran Crusader. So really a defining card so far this week is Mirran Crusader. That card does so much work in terms of closing out games and not just hanging around and dirtling. So we'll see what it's able to do here early, but a very powerful threat. And we've got Wasteland, replaying the land, and then a Green Sun's End, and that's going to be just for 1. So let's see what he's got here. At 1 mana, Deathrite Shaman comes to mind, and that is indeed what it is. So it looks like we are on more of a Maverick-style build compared to Nick Fit. If that did find a Veteran Explorer, then you would have to assume Nick Fit. That's really the only deck that's been running that. But we've got really a wide amount of colors here. Very greedy mana base. Allow you to play all the best spells available in this deepest of all formats. And Mirran Crusader coming in totally unable to block that, pro-green and pro-black. So can't be blocked twice by Deathrite Shaman. And then we have Stoneforge Mystic. So again, that really threatens to close things out quickly. If that Mirran Crusader is not answered, any type of equipment it's holding is going to just close out the game super fast. And it looks like it's going to go ahead and jam Umezawa, Jitte, or Jitters. You know what? In the comments, let me know how you pronounce it. I think it's probably different in different parts of the country, perhaps all over the world, so that would be fun. And we've got a Punishing Fire. So get him out of there. All right. So Fire. And an Abrupt Decay on the Stoneforge. So Bailey with all the answers right now, but we've got a Vial that can continue to push creatures out there. Going to 3, and it looks like we've got a Recruiter of the Guard, so very interesting scenario here. Going 1 for 1 is no longer going to be acceptable, and that Jitte is going to turn the Recruiter of the Guard into a very serious threat all on its own. So we are set for a very grindy, brutal board state here. Let's see. At 3 mana, the deck, of course, has multiple Recruiter of the Guards and also has Flickerwisp. Flickerwisp with Flash because the Vial so much better than just casting that guy. And it looks like Recruiter of the Guards going to just go ahead and get a Stoneforge, grabbing Batterskull. So now really multiple must-answer cards here. That Stoneforge is a real threat. And of course, the lack of non-basic lands has really shut off the utility of that, I think it's Naga Courser, something like that. Let's see here. And to Knight of the Reliquary. All right, so that card right now just a 2/2.
Draw.
This could be very bad.
You only have one in hand?
One card.
Bailey looks like he may only have one card in hand, so lots of possibilities here. Really just have to sort out the different risks and rewards for the different lines here. One option, saddling up the Recruiter and sending that crashing in. That could be very powerful. The Deathrite Shaman does have the ability to gain life for Bailey, but unfortunately he cannot force me to gain life, so that Punishing Fire is just going to stay in the bin for now. And it looks like we're getting 2 counters on Jitte. And what's it going to target? Going to finish off that Deathrite?
I'll eat Recruiter the Guard. Okay.
All right.
Very dead.
So little incremental vial.
Yep. Flickerwisp.
By finish off, that was incorrect. Deathrite was not the one that blocked there, so there we go. Swords to Plowshares after that Flickerwisp removes the planes and brings it back. So really a big turn for stabilizing there, setting up for that Batterskull to really be uninhibited in its going for Bailey's face. Wasteland still just tapping for colorless. We've got colorless green and a colorless 4 tireless tracker. Again, that would be so much better if that Wasteland could just be constantly coming in and out of the graveyard. But it's just going to be sending for 2. That is not a good look right there. So Flickerwisp is going to be able to come in through the air. And this is getting out of hand very, very quickly. Jitter's going to get 2 counters. And it's actually going to be able to get rid of the tracker here. Yep, and that's the choice. So just going for straight up card advantage. Got to think that's the right line here. Crucible on a stick, really not doing much here in this particular matchup. So we've got a fetch land, which is going to at least pull double duty. But now the clock is really ticking. That Flickerwisp is going to be able to hit for 3 next turn, but then each additional turn could be up to 7 damage if that's what those counters end up being used for. And we have a hard cast Batterskull.
I'll set up for that.
Yeah. All right. Lots of fireworks here. It looks like that Mirran Crusader may have found its way back into my hand.
Go ahead.
That card just doing so much work. Of course, that Germ token is black, making Mirran Crusader the perfect blocker, preventing any type of life gain. Bailey thinking this through. He may be contemplating shipping that over to try and gain more life each turn. He's got a little bit of a card advantage engine rolling now that he's finally found a fetch land. So every turn he's going to be able to use that to generate a little bit of incremental card advantage. And that is the plan.
Sure.
Going to have a green creature carrying that Batterskull. Unfortunately, the other side of Mirran Crusader is pro-green. So we've got pro-green or pro-black. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. And that is just going to go ahead and block.
Activate.
And we are likely going to just see a quick end here. Batterskull coming down. Bailey with 1 mana available. that card in hand really needs to be Swords to Plowshares. We have to assume that it is not, given that he allowed the block to happen. So this game is all but over.
Sword of Fire and Ice.
Okay.
Sword of Fire and Ice coming in.
Pro green guy.
Go.
So no life gain. We've got, depending on if we want to send equipment around. Yep, there we go.
Dead.
Just lethal strike through the air for Xaxes. So that was closed out very quickly with a Flickerwisp. Though Mirran Crusader ended up being the defensive creature, the defensive MVP there. So Crusader really doing a lot of work so far this tournament. Now a lot of people have gone all the way up to 4. I am running a bit of a split, running some more Serra Avengers. That is the usual suspect for when you're cutting cards in order to make room for that extra copies of Mirran Crusader. And I'll go ahead and put the deck list in the description as well. Alright, so Bailey going through, can actually see quite well the cards that he's looking at. I say that and then I actually couldn't follow what was coming out.
It's a weird matchup. It's like you're just the better white.
Alright, so nice quick game there. That was good. Looks like on my side of the board. This is certainly not a matchup I've played very much at all, given that I don't play Death and Taxes. I have boarded in cards like Rest in Peace. That's going to go ahead and shut off the Knight of the Reliquary's pump ability. It's also going to really blank those Deathrite Shamans, turning them just into Squires for 1 mana, which, you know, is still a bargain, but it's not exactly where you want to be. It does give them that explosive turn 1 and 2 still. Of course, you're taking your turn off whenever you're playing Rest in Peace, so it may not be a card that you want to run too many of. Sword of Fire and Ice. Looks like rearranging some land clumps there. So during the shuffling, always a good time to say thank you to Scholars for hosting these weekly Legacy tournaments. That's Wednesday at 7:30, and of course you can see us live on Twitch TV at that time. No commentary, just actually point of view over the table and just see the matches as they play out, and see Bailey here corresponding with, I'm sure, something that was extremely important.
On the play, I guess.
You see on the left-hand side there, that is Soul Ring mat. My kids actually make
Not a good matchup.
play mat for me every year for my birthday,
With Dylan a couple
and
times.
I don't know what I'm going to do this year. So far,
Not good.
we've got Mishra's Workshop, Black Lotus, and Jace the Mind Sculptor hanging on the wall behind me there. Soul Ring will get retired this March. If anybody has any ideas for vintage or legacy cards that would look good in that type of simple, stylized look, go ahead and leave them in the comments, because I'm really not sure what I want to do. I might start doing the Moxes
really
or something along those lines.
Missing something important.
So yeah, a little different there.
I'll try it.
Crowdsource that one. And I see a Swords of Plowshares on my side, and we've got a Grove of the Burn Willows gaining some life into a Green Sun Zenith. So that is almost certainly going to have to get Dryad Arbor. Really the only 0 casting off green creature as a suspect there. Dryad Arbor of Mother of Runes. So kind of archetypal openings for both decks. Death and Taxes defending a defensive posture here, whereas the Dryad Arbor being part of a more explosive opening for Bailey, really trying to take advantage of all the different colors of Magic, play some of the best threats on the creature side of the spectrum. And again, we have 4 colors on turn 2.
Swords Mom.
And, you know, he just keeps plowing my mom. That is apparently his signature move. And we've got Green Sun came
so I
back,
should be at
going back
21,
into the deck
and-
for 1 mana.
Or
So it
did
looks
you
like he's going to
tap that
have
for green?
Deathrite Shaman
tap
on
Dryad
board.
for
All
green.
5 colors of Magic available to
But you
him.
tapped this for
Not
green
that I
first turn.
anticipate him running
Yeah, 22.
anything blue here, but
you are
you know, Deathrite gives you the option. You can really go as
Okay.
deep as you want, as long as you have access to it in those Green Sun Zeniths are going to make sure that he does have a lot of access to Deathrite, so he can really extend the mana base to try and play whatever spells he really wants. And we've got just plain old basic planes on my side into Rest in Peace. All right, so it looks like Deathrite not going to be pulling double duty, but his mana base has already been established, so let's see. Rest in Peace, a very solid counter there to the Green Sun Zenith. You know, now with that in play, it feels like, oh man, if I just like waited a turn, then I could be able to Green Sun for something even better. But 4 mana coming up here. Looks like the Dryad Arbor staying behind, so almost certainly going to be using all 4 mana to play some type of threat.
I'm going to play Leovold.
Into Leovold. All right, so we actually had a comment last week asking to see a Maverick list with Leovold, so it looks like we're actually going to see that unfolding here. Leovold, very, very difficult for so many decks to deal with. I actually found out the hard way playing Storm against it for the first time. I stripped their hand of a Flusterstorm, and then commented that I hope that they don't draw a answer off of the card that they'll draw from my Tendrils.
2 in hand.
And after casting Tendrils, it was, you mean off of all 17 cards I'm drawing off of Tendrils, because it is actually any time you're the target of a spell or ability. So all of those copies for Tendrils count. That is a very fast way to learn that lesson. Of course, reading the card might have been slightly faster, but not as much fun. And actually did end up getting there regardless. So, you know, there is no justice. And we've got a Stoneforge on the other side. All right. So, of course, Stoneforge trigger is not actually drawing cards. So, still have an ability to generate some card advantage.
Play a Knight.
Yes. That Sword of Fire and Ice, however, is
Turns yours.
going to be drawing cards. So we've got a Swords to Plowshares. So yeah, things are looking very, very interesting for both sides of the board here. Both of us kind of established their game. The Rest in Peace is problematic, but certainly not game over. We've got a Cavern of Souls, which must be naming human. Thalia's coming down off of it, and we've got 2 white mana available. Yeah, so Rest in Peace still sticking around, causing problems. And another Knight of the Reliquary.
Lots of 2/2s.
Right, so very, very tense game state. If Bailey does have any type of removal for Rest in Peace, this game could very rapidly get out of hand, with those Knight of the Reliquaries growing very quickly. The typical line there is to go ahead and sack a forest to go get a fetch land and then fetch. That way each one of those is going to be creating
Would have been so much worse.
multiple
Oh boy, better not.
power and toughness. We have a Batterskull come down, interestingly enough.
It might have been okay just trading those 2 for it.
Yeah.
Perhaps not the best line.
Why
Looks like I'm holding
trade?
on to a Swords to Plowshares, not really wanting Bailey to draw a card off of the target, and instead looking to just smash in with Batterskull. So many different lines here. Batterskull can, of course, get picked up by any creature to make an even larger threat.
Actually,
Yeah, I mean, no,
And Sword of Fire and Ice.
yeah, that's definitely a good way to do it.
Quick equipping. And
attack.
sending.
For 6.
All right. So 6 plus a trigger.
I'm gonna block.
And that's
1/2.
going to actually draw a chump block by the Deathrite Shaman. Not doing very much right now, given the Rest in Peace. Might as well just die for the cause. And a fetch land there, thinning the deck. His mana is definitely all set here in terms of his colors. So if he has outs, he will be able to cast them. And we need some rips here.
I've seen times where
So we have a Bayou and a card I
Frozen
couldn't
Just
quite
2.
see.
it's land. Shocking.
6 mana.
Where they'll be like, you know, dark steel Steel, Mishra's Bobble, Opal.
Let's see if we're going to find out this turn.
Go ahead.
We're not. Right, so Batterskull really looking to do work. This game may be over very shortly. Just 2 swings with the Batterskull could do it. Of course, there's chump blockers in the way, but that's got to feel awfully bad to be chumping with cards as powerful as Knight of the Reliquary. There's a Dryad Arbor there is a totally reasonable thing to block with. Of course, you can actually block and then use the Knight of the Reliquary to
Okay.
sacrifice it and search for a land. So that is perhaps what we'll see here.
I'll block.
Okay.
Oh, we just have a knight.
And,
Oh, interesting. So let's see where this goes. Let's see here. What does he have? And he has, oh, Maze of It. Interesting. So functionally
All right.
no.
the same.
He's the guy.
Actually, a little bit better than the line I was describing, given that you're going to actually be able to use the knight again if necessary. So functionally identical, however, this line does give that extra option of using
I will
Knight of the Reliquary again if for some reason he wanted to.
presume we might be here for a little while.
I'm going to
Aether
play
Vial.
a 2-mana Aether Vial, and it looks like that Rishadan Port will be called upon to tap down that maze. So very interesting game state. A lot of aggression from the Death and Taxes side here. Bailey trying to have all of the answers.
Labeled as
Oh, is that a Golgari Charm?
it's a filthy card.
Oh,
It's
wow.
not reasonable.
That is.
It's a
That's
filthy.
why we play 5 colors
That
in
is
this
a
deck.
very, very good card in this
Filthy,
matchup.
filthy card.
So Golgari Charms, modes, all of them
Label.
super relevant in this type of matchup. Of course, you have
We
Destroying
have
an
Rishadan
Enchantment
Port
right
out.
now,
He's
very
amazing.
topical. We've got Rest in Peace, which is
not
running
reasonable.
havoc on
not.
the game state. So that is
I
going
don't
to
feel like I wanna
unlock
let
a
him
ton
draw.
of potential for Bailey. On the
I'll
other
take
side
two
of that,
extra
you also
cards
have
here.
-1/-1 to all creatures, and there are so many X1s in this deck that it can be a one-sided Wrath of God.
Hold the trigger.
And then Leovold, going to draw a card.
Revold has been
All
sourced.
right, looks like
Alright.
Batterskull and Golgari Charm in hand. So this game could be
Counter.
turning around pretty
Draw.
quickly. And then regenerating creatures. I mean, there's a lot of creature combat that can happen. So Golgari Charm, a very, very powerful
Declaring
effect.
attackers
And sending
before-
with both Thalia
Oh, that was not
and
how to phrase
Batterskull
that. Sure.
could get
Alright.
completely blindsided by
Last time.
Golgari Charm here.
Maze here.
4 blocks. I'm in a maze.
Yeah.
All right, so Maze of Ithing, the Batterskull.
And I'll take 2.
All right.
Totally didn't Rishadan Port the Maze of It. I believe that to be a blunder.
End of turn. I'm gonna destroy Rest in Peace. with
And there it is, Golgari Charm. Even at 3 mana, it's a bargain here. Wow. Talk about a swing in the game state. Those Knight of the Reliquaries are going to be able to balloon up in size, possibly bigger than that Batterskull. And now you got to wonder if Bailey's actually running the Coral Helm combo. That can close out games very, very quickly as well. So, Retreat to Coral Helm is 2 and a blue, and whenever you play a land, you can actually untap one of your creatures. So you're untapping your Knight of the Reliquary to get multiple activations, floating mana each time, and then potentially finishing off with a Kessig Wolf Run.
Sent.
Kind of a combo finish. All right, so Batterskull. still threatening to dominate the board here, but those knights are going to be able to get unhinged very quickly.
Float a green and knight away, breeding pool.
And Bailey getting a green or blue, presumably green, into a Thespian stage. Oh no. Ha! So we might actually be seeing the Dark Depths combo assembling out of nowhere. That 4 extra life on the Death and Taxes side, very relevant.
Float a green.
I'll respond to that.
Sure.
All right, so that Rishadan Port actually going to tap down the Thespian stage in response to the second crop rotation here, or night activation, essentially a crop rotation. That's going to probably still get that Dark Depths. What a spicy list here. Look at this. So I got to think it's not running the Coral Helms. Haven't
Alright,
seen
so
it during the
like 6
shuffling, and
comes
it
in.
looks like this is probably plenty
6
of
goes
combo.
and 2 goes to your face.
Okay.
And I will draw. I'll sort of find a nice.
And let's see here.
No.
A Mother of Runes.
And
No flyers currently, so it looks like next turn we're going to see a Merit Lage. And a Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter
Port.
going to get rid of that Rishadan Port. So that port is actually going to turn into a
I've got a
plains.
basic.
No shortage of basics here, so you're
Plenty
pretty
of
much
those.
always going to get a basic land off of a Ghost Quarter or Path to Exile when you're playing Death and Taxes. Even if you're up against Nick Fit, real tough to run out. All right.
untap.
Well,
Keep draw.
Death and Taxes, in theory, extremely well suited to taking care of legendary creatures. You have Karakas, you have Flickerwisp here versus the Merit Lage token, Swords to Plowshares. So the deck is not without answers to a 2020, but anytime you're dealing with something that big, it's a real problem.
Yeah, I mean, Rage just shuts off the deck now.
All right.
So,
Looks like
Attack with Batterskull.
Oh, Maze Batters.
gonna go ahead and send with the Batterskull. That's gonna get mazed.
Go ahead.
so today I sold a bunch of cards I wasn't using and got
And let's see if there's any answer for the 2020.
legacy deck built simultaneously. And
Like
this is
Merit Lage?
exactly the reason why I wanted that. I was able to just be like,
Yeah.
Combo activated. No response there.
Get on from the vault.
Kyle didn't have one.
There's a
Totally have them.
Untap.
I'd imagine. I mean, I probably.
Merit Lage token.
Draw.
had everything I wanted.
We gotta do a little better than that
Combat.
to get Bailey at least one of the from the vault ones.
20.
All right, and there's 20 coming in, and I've got the swords for 2 mana. Still a bargain at 2. They going back up. So after like a half hour playing, we are now sitting at 30-28.
Yes.
Lots has happened, but life totals are at an all-time high.
Sometimes 18 lands means
All right.
green.
Well,
And Night
let's
Away.
see here.
Tiger.
Can't get it done with Merit Lage, then it looks like it's going to be a job for the Knight of the Reliquary. So fetch for a fetch land, crack it, get another land. Looks like Bailey's just going to go ahead and thin his deck right out.
And then I'm gonna green sun for 3.
And a Green Sun
Okay.
at 2 or 3, depending on if he floated mana first. We'll find out very shortly. We'll see if he actually...
Reclamations.
Okay, so Reclamation Sage? Interesting. So the Naga Corsair, or the Crucible on a
Rec
Stick,
Sage.
if that is actually its real name, All right, so we've got an important play here.
3 to return.
We got Rex Sage targeting. Oh no, targeting Batterskull with 3 mana open. That's not going to get very much done.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
So just effectively forcing me to return it to my hand. I still have a Stoneforge on board, so not really much of a problem at all. The Crucible could have allowed for reassembling the Dark Depths combo. Tough
How
to
big
say
are
whether
those
or not
knights?
that's actually where you want to be,
They're
given that Death and Taxes has so many answers.
9/9s.
Not tiny.
So still have a Vial at 3. Looks like there's another Vial in hand, a Thalia, a Batterskull. And I can't quite see that last card. And for 2 mana,
Activate.
gonna go ahead and activate, put in that Batterskull. And gonna go ahead and get the Germ. And equip it. And
Go ahead.
jam a Vial. Why not? Probably going to be here a while. Alright. 3 mana available. Looks like another Ghost Quarter. And a Mother of Runes.
Yeah.
Alright. Back card could do a lot of work. And a Jitters.
Yeah.
Jockeying back and forth. We've got equipment, we've got creatures, we've got combat steps. What's not to love? Not a blue card in sight.
Excuse me.
Oh, Leovold. Leovold messing everything up. There he is. Barely a blue card in sight. And we've got Flickerwisp. So looks like it's a good thing that he didn't try and assemble the Dark Depths combo again. Flickerwisp would have really made him regret that decision.
Go ahead.
Just so effectively removing Merit Lage from the equation. Alright, so we've got a Ghost Quarters to stop the next Rishadan Port that I draw, so I'm really kind of hoping for a Wasteland to get rid of those the Maze of It. But so many different ways for things to play out here. For example, if I do draw a Maze of It, Ghost Quarter can theoretically handle that situation, but then I have a Flickerwisp which could actually counter that. So there's so many onboard tricks and there's so much uncertainty about what is in your opponent's hand. A lot of things to consider in this matchup. Looking to make that Knight of the Reliquary even more of a threat. Holding on to the equipment.
And that gives you the 5 artifacts, and then you untap for.
What a game this has turned into. And I'm gonna go ahead and fire something off. End step.
Yeah, well that 5 that I kept with no lands
And
in it.
Flickerwisp. So tons of options here. If it's in the second main, they can go ahead and bring something back during the end step. If it's actually in the end step, you could go ahead and get rid of something like
So this
Maze of
is
It
at the end of your
and keep it away for a full turn.
second.
Of course, from 27,
As you attempt to go
really
to
not going to actually end the game here.
Especially on the
So it may not even be a wise decision.
the second time I could have
jamming
made this
here.
line.
We'll see how it plays out. Flickerwisp into the battlefield trigger is so very valuable.
So what I wanted to do was activate Stoneforge.
And it looks like
No, that wouldn't work. Never mind.
Okay.
It's fine. It's all good.
So blinking stone.
I'm just blinking
target
Stoneforge. Go to your end
Stoneforge.
step.
I might respond to the blinking to the targeting stone.
and
Okay.
Mystic just comes
So targeting
right back
Stoneforge
during the end step.
with Flickerwisp.
It's not easy matchup. It's not a terrible matchup. There are some things that there are some things that are good.
I mean, Thalia, but then
So just getting more equipment
Yeah,
to this party.
exactly. Once they're hitting your creatures, then you're good.
Well, but Searing Blades gets
That's fine.
There's a Thalia out,
Get
so
your thing. I don't know why I'm stuck.
that does ruin a lot of different plans.
Yeah, but if they kill all my creatures that lock them out, I'm just like, alright, and then you start back with the goblin guys, it's just like,
And the final piece of equipment, assembling Voltron here.
I know.
Jitters.
It's just like,
After a quick shuffle, going back, ramping up to 2 on Aether Vial, so Vials at 2 and 3. Plenty of mana.
Seems very fun. Like,
So many plays available. Got to make room for the team here. And there's that Rishadan Port. So Port can actually tap down Maze of Ith here for a round. Next turn, Ghost Quarter will be able to take care of it.
what you mean? I'm basically doing one of my creatures.
Jitte.
And here we go.
you were gonna need to draw
Umezawa's Jitte.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
Should cost 3 mana. Looks like I might actually be a mana shy there.
Yep.
I've lost a lot of games.
Port Maze of It.
Alright.
Attack step.
Go for it.
Alright, so looks like that flying,
Just
holding Jitte
Just
is going to
Flickerwisp.
be a huge problem. Going to get 2 counters on it. Mother of Runes and Rexage are looking like they are not long for this
4
world.
green. Night away the first.
And we have Knight of Reliquary searching something up. Getting Grove, hoping to get Punishing Fire online here.
Yeah, you got him. Good, very good for you.
Use the green I have floating to cast.
And
Golgari Charm. All creatures get
mana
-1 until end of turn.
for Golgari Charm. Thalia would make that cost 3, so it
paid
must have
3
floated
mana for
the
that?
green.
I did.
And that will effectively do a very similar thing in that it will kill the Mother of Runes, which was the main goal. So, mission kind of accomplished. 2 mana, or activating Violet 2, getting another Thalia.
Go ahead.
Very. Had these like super ugly white ones. These are better.
Shots are being fired. So we've got another Grove. Really just waiting for that Punishing Fire.
Ghost Quarter Port.
Ghost Quarters, getting rid of Rishadan Port, so that Maze of Ith back online is a real problem. Gonna be able to get a
Another
basic planes.
So many basics.
It's 11, Night
Doing
of
a
the
quick count on
That's it.
lands. The Knight of the
It's not
Reliquaries
even a
are
dreadnought.
large at this point.
One has a G10, it might be better
Some
than
decisions I make.
I'll go to combat.
Yep.
22.
And sending with both guys. All right. Well, from 30, certainly not threatening lethal here. Maze of Ith can untap a Knight of the Reliquary post-attack, giving him a
6, 8,
blocker
9
if
damage.
he so chooses.
I'll block the
Real
one
decisions here.
Jitte with the Batterskull.
Okay.
Sure.
So,
I'll
Batterskull
gain 6,
Yep.
and I'll lose 11.
is blocking, and then we're taking some damage. So it looks like Jitte does have counters now.
I'm gonna Maze of Ith.
He's going to maze.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So serious potential on Bailey's side of the board here. A lot of damage coming in. Got counters, which can now remove at least Thalia, possibly Stoneforge Mystic. There is a Rishadan Port that is going to allow cards to actually connect. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 8. So for 2 mana, something's getting
Equip
equipped
Sword of
here.
Fire and Ice to Stoneforge Mystic.
Let's see if those counters are used in response.
I will kill Stoneforge Mystic.
Should have waited a bit strand until after I cast it.
Return Batterskull.
Alright, so it attempted to equip the Stoneforge, pick up Batterskull, put Batterskull back down. Continuing to buy some time. But that murder machine equipped to Knight of the Reliquary is going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
What a game this has turned into. Looked like it was all but over. Karakas, easy way to get rid of Thalia there. If you don't want to waste the counters. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 11, 11. Knight of the Reliquary is crashing in here.
Taking, what is it?
And it's going to be a block. And then taking 11 for a net difference of 7.
Second main phase.
5
Sure.
mana, Batterskull.
Does cost 6 though, right?
Oh, I can't do it.
There we go. I was going to say that shouldn't happen. It is 6 mana with Thalia out. This is looking very grim. And that looks like it was a Swords to Plowshares, which could really drag this out. So a Swords to Plowshares could get rid of one of the Knight of the Reliquaries, and then Batterskull could potentially just block indefinitely the other. With just about 7 minutes left on the clock. Very important decisions here in reference to whether or not there could even be enough time for a game 3. You're going to wonder if any of these decks could even win in a short amount of time left, starting from scratch. Of course, Bailey does have that Dark Depths combo. That can assemble rather quickly.
Equip Fire and Ice to Thalia.
Equipping Sword of Fire and Ice. Bailey killing Thalia. 6 mana left available. What possible shenanigans can happen from here? That's Swords to Plowshares. Might be best saved until attackers are declared. That'll make sure that Jitte doesn't get any additional counters during this attack step.
Combat?
There we go, sending in Swords to Plowshares.
That's fine.
Wow.
So I'll take 11. Yep.
So threatening lethal here, but that Batterskull going to be able to get picked up and put down repeatedly.
End of second phase, or end of
Untapping Maze.
Yep.
Untapping with Maze. Getting a Thalia.
Sure.
Thalia going to make it slightly harder to be picking up and putting down Batterskull.
Return Batterskull.
Right, so end step, picking up Batterskull.
Port Karakas.
And porting Karakas. That makes it so he can't protect his own Thalia, and also makes it a little bit less useful if I have my own. And there's a Karakas, so I can actually get rid of his Thalia if necessary. Might as well. Got to tap a land to either pay 1 extra for Batterskull or get rid of the 2/1. Might as well get rid of the 2/1. And there we go, Batterskull and 3 mana available to return it to hand. So being up a game here, the play may be to try and hold out to the finish line. So different options with that Batterskull. You can be blocking the Knight of the Reliquary and then gaining life every round, or you can block and then return. Oh, there's a Swords to Plowshares, gaining 4, but that's looking like it's going to be it. Again, as said before, I mean, Swords to Plowshares is the type of card that can just blow the game wide open, and it looks like, is that going to be it? Thalia, but that counter is going to take it out. I mean, it looks like we're going on to game 3, and we only got 4 minutes left.
Game was that?
Well, that is a tremendous
That seemed awful.
game from Bailey.
That was
there
pretty.
to
It's pretty cancerous.
hang in there and find a way to win.
Good luck finishing your match, guys.
Wow, that is something. Well, during the shuffling, anyone who has seen Brainstorm MTG on YouTube or Twitch may be happy to know that there is now a website for Brainstorm MTG, newly created. There you'll be able to see my projects that I'll be working on, things like cubes and playmats, as well as buying, selling, trading cards. All of that. It's going to be just a hub for everything that I do in Magic the Gathering. Look for that to continue to grow in 2018, but you can find it at brainstormmtg.com and see that early works. And of course the Pixel project, it's a lot of fun. I do mosaics based off of Magic art, using Magic art throughout the history of the game. And going into game number 3 with just under 3 minutes left. Gonna come out here, put some keeps, Aether Vial, a blistering pace, fetching for a Mother of Runes, Vial going up. So this is, we're talking 2-minute drill here, end of the Super Bowl, 2 minutes left. Can you get it done? Will this be a draw? Or will someone find a way to win? Stoneforge. That's a start.
Fire and Ice go.
Sword of Fire and Ice, Jitte, or Batterskull. Any one of them has their upsides. Really depends on what else I have in my hand. Sword of Fire and Ice does combo quite well with Mirran Crusader. And we've got a Punishing Fire to take out that Stoneforge Mystic. Definitely happy to have gotten Sword of Fire and Ice at that point. Batterskull would have been all but a brick in a game going this quickly. Looks like
Cast Sophie.
Sword of Fire and Ice, and then 2 mana
Thalia.
for Thalia. So that is a start, but with that Mother of Runes, it's going to be really tough to get in there. And playing lands. Bailey thinking back and forth. 3 mana. We got a Swords to Plowshares. I'm not sure why land was tapped. Okay, there we go. So we fixed that. So Bailey looking to just hang on. Got all the answers for all the creatures.
Waste to the
And looks like getting rid of the Bayou, the Taiga.
another vial.
Putting in an Aether Vial.
Vial in that guy.
Yep. Whoa. Alright, so that's an explosive play. It has protection from most colors here. So we've got black, green, blue, and red. No pro white though, so not really clear how it's going to get through. 37 seconds left on the clock.
Attack step. Sent.
Sending.
Block.
block.
Yep.
You got to
I'll get Phyrexian to
expect
white.
throw white here. And
Thalia. Go.
there you go. So Crusader large enough to survive Thalia, even though he doesn't have throw blue. We got a Dark Depth, so perhaps the combo coming down on the other side. And looks like we are going to be going to turns. We've got a Wasteland. And it looks like, well, Bailey is scooping it up with that Mother of Runes. No answer to the Mother of Runes. With that Wasteland taking him off of Golgari Charm, so Mother of Runes going to be able to give that Mirran Crusader throw white for a couple of turns, and Bailey decides to pack it up compared to
was a
going
hell of a
through
game, too.
those last couple
That
turns
was.
on camera. So what a match, back
really
and
something.
forth.
Yeah.
Kind of everything that you could possibly hope for in a creature-based match of Legacy Magic: The Gathering. So yeah, congratulations to Bailey on a match well played. And of course, this has been ELD with Brainstorm MTG with matches live from Scholars Games in Brockton, Massachusetts. Thanks for watching.